Welcome. Thank you everyone for coming this morning, and my name is Mike Henry and I'll be leading our seminar discussion this morning. I've got Robin Beamish with me. Robin was the president of Beamish Construction, leading business in the road building industry for 70 years, and last year the Beamish family decided to sell the business, and Robin will share some of his insights and experiences from that.
Beamish Construction was started by my dad. Came out of school in Eastern Commerce as a clerk. He joined a construction company in Toronto, and Jupp Construction, a large construction company in Toronto. He was good at math, so he excelled in the clerking side and made his way up through the business for Mr. Jupp. There had been, and you got to preface this, there had been people knocking on the door for, I would say, 20 years, because of the thoughtfulness of one entrepreneur that said, I'm going to buy some property with sand and gravel on it, but it's going to be in Sault Ste. Marie. But a visionary will do that. And so the next thing you know, we've got a business up in the Sault. We've got another business out in Lindsay. It turned out to be some of the best decisions he ever made, relatively economical to purchase and buy, long leases on sand and gravel in our business, stone, quarry materials and everything. But maybe not the closest, but it paid off in the long run, because now we were becoming an Ontario company. And it seems that the people that were really good, that were really interested, just called. They just sort of said, this is what we think we're going to do, Robin. No figures, we think we're going to write a letter of intent, an LOI to you people, and if you're interested, would you give us a call back and let us come and talk to you about it? We've had other personalities who, honestly, no, sir, you don't have to bother coming to see me. I just don't think it'll be a good fit. Thank you very much. Because we fought our whole business life against each other. The last thing I'm going to do is pass the family business over to a guy that I fought my whole life. So personalities were a big item, and when we found the right fit, because our business was an asset sale, we sold all of our properties, gravel, stone, sand and gravel, asphalt plant sites, other farm properties with gravel leases on them and whatever, and all of our employees, so 600 in the summer to 1,200, or 600 in the winter to about 1,200 in the summer, all the pensions, all the benefits, and I negotiated, hooray, that they all got a raise. Back then, if you had good people, you kept them. And so for us, we had a lot of people over the age of 60, more than we had people under 40. And that was just the nature of a family business. We made it a mainstay of our business to get our people taken care of. And I suppose we took a little less money, as we discussed, but it was well worth it. Things come up that you don't honestly know about. And I'll give you a couple examples. We have gravel pits in Sudbury, Lindsay, Barrie, Aurelia. We have also quarry stone properties. And ups and downs would be in testing all of the properties to make sure that everything's okay. They find, quote, an example, an Indian burial ground 40 feet below the stone. I didn't know it was there. None of our people knew it was there. We never quarried down that far. But somehow you have to know that that's going to be part of your deal. They call it the knowns and the unknowns process to be able to handle that. And you've hammered out for 2 or 3 days out by the airport in closed-in rooms with 12 lawyers on one side and 3 on the other. So, and you hang your hat on that process. And if anything comes out of it, you look at the people across the room and you say, you agreed to our process. We have a downer here, we have something come up, and we're going to stick to the process. And they may want to change it. they may want to say, nope, we're going to offer you this, this, and this to get out of this situation, which they find themselves in now because they bought a property from us. And you're going to say, no, we've got a process, a signed deal. I'm glad that was there. We've had to use it once or twice. They've tried to use the process to push us into the corner, personally, and you got to accept it. That's the process. But then here it is, all of a sudden, the process is on our side now. So very important that you go away with that, at least that one idea, that has to be in the deal. You know, if you own land, you have environmental issues that go away along with the land that you own in your business. And those environmental issues have to be taken care of if there's anything on them. When we did this, what it allowed the buyer to do was to say, okay, they're taking part of the purchase price and they're putting it over there in a trust account. So if we find anything or something happens, these unknowns, at least we have some financial ability to try and remediate, fix up, or whatever, anything that they find. And we negotiated on our side terms of repaying that back. So after the first year, you get 40% or whatever it might be. The second year, you might get 22%. Third year, 15%. It goes all the way down over a 5 or 7 year period. And to me, as an owner, you have to be ready to do something, and that seemed like a good idea. We gave the money over there, but if nothing happens, we get it back. And that allowed the buyer to keep moving forward with the sale. So I think that's it. What we found was, with the checklist of list of things to do that Michael gave us, for instance, here's just an example how easy this is. We own properties. We have leases on farms that have got sand and gravel on them. Those leases have to be transferred into the buyer's name. Our sand and gravel operations, our quarry operations, all have a perimeter fencing from the M&R around them saying, stay out, this is a quarry operation. Those have to be transferred to the buyers. And there was 112, I think, at the end when we did the number, and about 70 of them all had non-compliant issues with them. So the M&R of the day, when we bought the properties, would say things like this: Robin, you don't have to put a fence through that big, huge swamp out there that's 200 feet wide. No one's gonna come along and try and go through the swamp. It's your quarry, and the quarry has to be fenced by regulations, but don't worry about it. 30 years later, the new M&R person says, here's your letter, Mr. Beamish. You know the quarry with the swamp, yeah? You have to put a fence through that swamp. And we go, no. We got letters from them saying, no. It's out of compliance because you are transferring the ownership to a new person. Now it's an issue. So these issues come up, and we're still, 2 years later, working to clean up issues with the M&R who are just saying, we can't do it until you transfer. So those are unexpected costs to us that have to be done. The evaluation we did, I think, in our business is rather easy. You own a piece of property. It has a marketable value. It has inventory in it as a quarry or sand and gravel. It has a number of tons that you can sell. It has a number of tons that you can quantify and put a price on. Your equipment is what the equipment is. That was kind of easy. We just ran it through the big Caterpillar dealer and said, here's our list of equipment. In the auctions, what are you selling these 100 pieces for or whatever? The stuff that didn't really count, put 0 on it, and that made the deal go even quicker because they're not paying for it anyway, but they got to take it in the sale, so we're not left with it. That was easy for us. I don't know how easy it's going to be for you, but that's how we got our valuation. So we really had an idea of all of our properties, our equipment, the King City Yard up on Highway 400. You've all passed it if you drive north. So we had a very good idea. And I think a smart buyer would have done all the same thing. They would have found out all the licenses we had, done some quantitative surveys, found out the inventory that was in them, And our bonus was that, again, smart thinking 30 years ago. You go to a quarry, either up around Bob Cajun or in Cobeconk, if you go through that cottage country. The floor of our quarry is at 38 feet. It goes to 60. So someone looking at that says, holy mackerel, he's going to be 20 feet under the water table, but he's got a license for us to be able to go down to another 30 feet of, absolutely the best limestone in Ontario. That's a lot of money. But I'm just letting you know, that's one thing that I think you have to be able to do, is to give your people a little bit of rope to see how good they are, and let them run with some things. And we sold, we had a great transaction, and that's good, I think. I'm certainly not saying here that we didn't do well in the sale. We had some of the best lawyers